Let's begin with the importance of culture to human existence. But this is why the late Jamaican political activist Marcus Garvey once said that a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. For the Yoruba people, the importance of drums transcends entertainment to include communication and more. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, echoes this when she asserted that the drum is an instrument to unite the country. At the staging of a play and unveiling of the book Echoes of the Drums in Abuja, written by Ola Wakon, the First Lady said the use of drums cannot be overemphasized at this challenging moment in the country. Let's share the story by TVC News Ademola Lawrence with you.
Imagine a world without drums. Boring, you say? Maybe these were the thoughts running through the minds of Olawa many years ago when he picked up his pen to write Echoes of the Drums.
This I have waited for long. I want to hear cry of babies. We need to celebrate drums again in expectation of the sound from your drum.
The celebration of this year's World Drummers Day in Abuja is a testament to the fact that the creative economy is a dependable sector for nation building and should be properly harnessed. The command performance of Echoes of the Drum as the first drum drama is seen as an exportable material for tourism, development and cultural reawakening. Ambassadors and high commissioners of various countries were there to enjoy the spectacle.
But this is a production that I commend to people, to students, and I commend to those who are very strong in ensuring that we stay together as a country. I recommend this production to all those who think that we are not stronger when we are together as Nigerians.
For the Ministry of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, the World Drummers Day is a reminder of our essence, history and culture. But these masterpieces also create job opportunities and contribute to the nation's gross domestic product.
A play like this is very apt. It is a reminder of our roots, our culture. Throughout our history, drums has played a part in almost every aspect of our lives, whether it's naming ceremonies, weddings, deaths. Drums are always a part of our culture, and we're beginning to forget that culture. So a play like this reminds us of our essence, our history, our culture, and how far it can. But beyond that, it creates jobs. We can see the value chain of jobs right here in this room, just because someone decided to write a story. And that story is now a play, and that play could possibly be a TV series.
Her Regal Majesty Olori Temitope, the wife of the Oni of Ife, emphasized on culture and its importance while urging parents to imbibe cultural values.
Tradition is rich, our tradition is holistic. So if we imbibe our tradition and our culture into our children right from their birth, it has a way of changing their mindset, because everything about life is about mindset. If you change your mindset, you have a positive mindset, you exhibit positivity around you. So what happens globally?
For the author, the play Echoes of the Drums is a celebration of Nigeria's cultural endowment and value system.
The message of the play that we should look backward, look into what we believe in, look into what we have as a society, which is our culture, which is our value system, which is the unity in our diversity. Yes, we may have over 200 or 300 ethnic groups in Nigeria, but our diversity is in our strength.
For the SSA to the President on Public Affairs and Strategy, who represented the First Lady of Nigeria, the play drives home the necessary messages, especially in this challenging moment for Nigeria's economy.
We can see that drum is a source of so many other things. You can use drum to induce and inspire, and most importantly, you can also use drum to instigate, prompt. And the essence of all this is to be able to use drama, literary, techniques like this to tell story, to be able to let people see that through drumming and drums, we can unite ourselves as a country.
For Ola Awako, the vision is to globally articulate this masterpiece and hopes these culturally rich literature texts will transition beyond the stage of movies, animation, and also create heroes from the major characters in the play. Ayolade, Olude, and Awogbola, who possesses supernatural powers, are showcasing the strength of Africa. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, such colorful display of art and culture there. And today, it's amazing how the drum can play a significant role that transcends entertainment to national unity and cohesion. Ola Awako is bringing this to the fore, and the First Lady is reiterating it.
Yes, I've seen this play before when it was staged at the Motion Center. It was really a day of joy for Ola Awako and his spouse, because we had quite a number of international, a lot of diplomats witnessed it. You know, they like things like this. They are always interested in knowing a bit more about our country, but it's unfortunate that we do not show sufficient interest in our culture, in our past. Many people do not know Nigeria sufficiently. Many people can barely tell the Nigerian story. And the drums, we have seen now that even in music, the drum is not just a means of achieving rhythm, but it's also a means of communicating, getting your message across. The talking drum, for example, you can say a lot of things with the talking drum. When it drums, is communicating with the lead singer will know what he's trying to say. Yes, with that drum. The dun 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 dun. You know? So, and in this play, for example, good triumphs over evil. We saw clearly through the instrumentality of the drum, we saw the message that Ola was trying to get across, and it was a happy ending in the final analysis. It's unbelievable that he wrote this play as a student. Back in his days in the university, he wrote this play more than 10 years ago, because he's been around for some time too. Yes, even though he's a little boy to some of us. But it's a play that he wrote more than 10 years ago, but he's still gaining currency. And you can see that for the national troupe to stage that play, that should tell you the quality of that story and the excellence of execution and adaptation of it to the form that they had to adapt it to. Right. I love dance drama a lot. Back in my days in the university, we used to go to the performing arts department to watch their project plays and learn a lot. And I'm happy with the progress that Echoes of the Drum is making. I believe that it will go beyond the shores of our country.
Yes.
And that message embedded in that story will resonate.
Indeed. And, you know, there's no disputing the fact that Olawakon is gifted in this. He's skilled, he's talented, and
he's a very creative person.
Very creative.
I don't think we've seen the best of him. But, he's still being uncorked slowly, like a bottle of 7-Up. So we'll see the
difference is clear.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another story. The more we hear about the late Nigerian singer Ileri Oluwaloba, popularly known as Mohbad, and his family, the more twists are introduced to the saga surrounding his death in September 2023. 7 months after, uncertainty hovers around the cause of his death and the paternity of his son, Liam. The latest twist is that a magistrate court sitting in Ikorodu area of Lagos has ordered that Mohbad's wife, Wunmi, be served by substituted means, notice of a pending DNA application. According to a statement by a member of the legal team to the Aloba family, Monisola Odumosu, Mohbad's father, Joseph Aloba, sought an order to serve Wunmi by posting all the originating processes and others in the suit on her last known address. Today, this issue of Mohbad is still on. A lot of controversy still existing regarding the paternity of Liam.
It's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate. As a person, I feel bad that Mohbad is gone, and this needless controversy has been raging for some time since he died in September last year. In no time, the first anniversary of his death will be upon us. Yet, we are yet to get to the roots of his death, what killed him. The autopsy is not out. Now, the matter of the paternity of his son, Liam, is also still raging. It's very distasteful what is going on. I do not blame Joseph Aloba, Mohbad's father. I will not sit here and say it's wrong for him to try to get Wunmi to submit herself for a paternity, submit herself and Liam for a paternity test. It's all in the desire to find out the truth. Wunmi and Joseph Aloba never really hit it off. They never really had an excellent relationship. And in the aftermath of Mohbad's death, it is showing clearly. What I see going on is a family divided against itself. Mohbad's mom is opposed to Mohbad's father. As far as they are concerned, some individuals simply want to profit from this guy's death. Mohbad has made tons of money in death. At a point, he was among the 3 most streamed artists in the world, even outgunning people like Nicki Minaj, very big artists and all that. But perhaps the matter of the things that he left behind is the source of this controversy. Everyone is saying all kinds of things. The other day, they said it was Elegushi.
Yes.
In fact, before Elegushi was mentioned, Sam Larry was mentioned. They pointed to the boy and said the boy looked very much like Sam Larry. I've not looked at him that much to know whether he indeed looks like Sam Larry. But they accused Sam Larry of being the father. Now they moved from Sam Larry to Oba Elegushi. They said, Oba Elegushi has not got male children, so that's why they had to kill Mohbad. It's terrible. The videos that people shoot, talking about even Liam, some of them are swearing at the boy, that the little boy must die, this and that. It's distasteful. I just wish that we can have a closure to this matter.
So hopefully Wunmi would, surrender Liam for this paternity test. But in the long run, if it's discovered that Liam is actually the son of Mohbad, what happens with all the defamation that has happened on social media?
They will apologize. A lot of people, that's why we need the truth to come out. A lot of people have shot all kinds of videos, maligning Obailegushi, swearing for him, swearing for Liam, swearing for Wunmi. Only the truth can put closure to this matter. Wunmi and her lawyers are claiming that they are not aware of this order of the court, and that's why the court said they should get her notified by substituted means, which means they will paste the notice on the wall of her last residence, because they don't know where exactly she is. That way, at least the message can reach her. But up to now, the lawyers are saying, no, we don't know. The lawyer is saying we don't know about this matter. We've not been notified and all that. It's terrible for a woman to go through, especially a young woman. I really feel for her.
Yes.
And I feel for that little boy. Because, look, the internet lives on.
That's the point I wanted to make.
These videos, people will see these videos many years down the line.
Decades after now.
Videos. I just want Wunmi to surrender herself for a DNA so that we can put closure to this matter. It's important. I don't see why she should not bring herself and Liam to do a proper DNA. You know, I've seen on Kokoro Alert, for example, that the Yoruba program in Ibadan, I've seen people contesting for the paternity of a child. And when the DNA report came out, neither of them owned the child, which means that the woman was seeing other people beyond those two who were going to kill themselves about a child. The woman was seeing other people. So neither of them actually owned the child. Who knows? Who knows what will happen in this case? You know, so I think she should stop playing hide and seek. She should make herself available. Let them do the DNA so that we can finally put this matter to bed.
All right. And the assignment editor at TVC News, Asoko James, also joined us on the program today. Asoko, it's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and if you would just quickly say something about this Mohbad's case. It's about 7 months since it passed, and you know, it's like the more you see or the more you hear, the less you understand about the case. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the paternity of Liam. And
I think the court, just like the court has said that they should serve the wife, it's very pathetic, honestly, because I thought by now would have ended the issue about Mohbad, so that the family, especially the child, would in future not come and begin to say, what happened? Why was this controversy about, my mom and my dad? I think now that the court has said, okay, go ahead and do the DNA test, the wife should just, go ahead and do it. I know it's very, very traumatic, because this is not what any mother or any woman should go through. We hope that this, by this, to put to bed all this controversy. It's been long. Mohbad, was buried, exhumed, for autopsy and so many other things. So the issues are just so much. I hope that with this new court service that has been instituted, the wife will be able to do the needful, and then all those who are always, going on social media trying to bring her down, either will be put to shame, once and for all. And we just hope that this case will just be done for.
Yeah, we look forward to that. And away from that, Taraba State in northeast Nigeria is not called nature's gift to the nation for nothing. It embodies it, and that's due to its abundant natural resources and tourist sites. One of such is the Wunmi Fishing and Cultural Festival in Ibi, a town situated on the bank of the Benue River. The festival, which has been in comatose, is now being revived by the administration of Governor Agbu Kefas. Speaking at this year's Wunmi Fishing and Cultural Festival, Governor Kefas insisted that the event will strengthen the existing relationship among people of the state and attract investors. Here is the story filed by TVC News Owolabi Adenusi.
Ibi town in Taraba State is situated on the bank of River Benue, and the major occupation of its inhabitants is farming and fishing. It could be recalled that the town came to limelight in 2019 after an alleged kidnapper, Wunmi, was arrested by a special police force team who were confronted by the military, which led to the death of some security personnel. The town has also had its fair share of decayed infrastructure, long-term communal conflicts, and pockets of insecurity. But the Kefas-led administration is trying to change the negative narrative through tourism, hence the need to revive the Wunmi International Fishing and Cultural Festival. Governor Kefas described the occasion as one of the nature's gifts to the state, and it's being showcased to the world.
What we are trying to do in our generation now is to ensure justice, to live in harmony, in unity, so that we can make progress. They say charity begins at home. So we are trying our best to make sure that all the things that are there that are being revived, we strengthen the relationship that have kept us together. And the most important thing is to make sure that our environment is secure so that foreigners and other people can visit us in our state.
The special guest of honor, Governor Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State, commended the government and people of Taraba State for preserving their rich cultural heritage through the festival. Mr. Fintiri challenged the organizers to incorporate activities that will create awareness on agriculture, health, and economic empowerment.
Having given these assurances, let me use this medium to commend the organizers for focusing on culture and education as tools for unity and progress. The combination of culture and education must be such that it guarantees peace and provides a vehicle for progress. Education will light the path for ignorance, while culture will nurture the values and virtues of our lives as people.
On his part, the chairman of the occasion, retired General T.Y. Njuma, said the Wunmi International Fishing and Cultural Festival serves as a platform for fostering unity and understanding among diverse communities. The former army chief raised concerns over the level of insecurity in the country, especially kidnapping and banditry.
We must put our own house in order. We must have peace in our state. We must have peace throughout the country. There is no foreign person, there is no sane foreign person that will come to our country to celebrate with us if we continue to kill each other, if we continue to make our roads unsafe for people to move around. But right now we are a laughing stock to the whole world. We must stop killing each other.
The residents of the town, in an interview with TVC News, say they have been neglected by various governments as they continue to contend with bad road networks, lack of hospitals, and potable water. The leader of Tiv community in Ibi is not a happy man at the moment. He says his people are being forced out of their ancestral homes and all their complaints to the state government fell on deaf ear.
We have many challenges that we are facing here in Ibi. First of all, we don't have good drinking water. We don't have access road from here to our various villages. Most of the people here, we are farmers. We don't have good road to link us from here to our farm.
For the first 4-5 years, something has happened in this community. There was a crisis between Tiv and other tribes in this community.
Now we are displaced, and the people that displaced us, they are not accepted we to come back to our various areas. While our forefathers that be buried in this land, now we are kicking out of the land, say that we shall not come back to our various places. We are displaced, and we don't have any place to stand as this our place.
The occasion featured cultural performances and presentations to the delight of guests and observers. It is believed that Governor Kefas will work on the security challenges bedeviling the town, as well as provide the people with needed infrastructure.
So Ibi boasts very rich natural resources, but is in need of basic infrastructure. Hopefully the revival of the Wunmi festival would, birth these long desired dreams, Jide.
I hope so. I hope so. If the governor wants to really put Taraba on the global tourism map, he has to work harder, create access roads, create the infrastructure that will encourage tourists to come to Taraba. Taraba is most probably the most beautiful part of our country. If you go to Mambila, for example, I've not seen any place in Nigeria as beautiful as Mambila. And their cows are just as big as those ones you see in Florida and the US. The biggest cows you'll find here. But not much is being done to make Taraba a tourist destination. The weather is colder than the weather in Jos, colder than the weather in Obudu. That's the coldest part of our country. And the tallest mountain in our country is also in Taraba. But how do you even get to that mountain? The roads are not there. Chapawadil is the highest mountain in Nigeria. It's in the Gembu area, But how do you get there? So these things, it's not enough for government to simply mouth these things. We have to see what you are doing. It's not enough to take people to a rustic community that has not got roads, dilapidated infrastructure, general infrastructure decay. You've got to make the place attractive. And there has to be peace. Peace has to be guaranteed. I had the former Minister of Defense, General T.Y. Danjuma, saying nobody will come to Taraba because they are killing one another. It's time for the leaders, including General Danjuma, to sit down and ask themselves, what is causing these killings? Tiv and Jukum, the Kuteb, and this other people, I can't remember now, I'm sure I'll remember later. There's a need for us to have peace in Taraba because peace is what will encourage people to come. Taraba needs to be sold not just to Nigeria, but to a global audience. And for me, I would like to take people to Mambila, for example, to see what I'm talking about. Unbelievable landscape and coldest part of our country. You think, in fact, if you don't get warm clothing, I don't know how you are going to survive. They don't use refrigerator. I'm not exaggerating. They don't use refrigerator. The places that we went to eat, their refrigerators, they had, but they didn't
use them.
They didn't know how to use them. Even at that time, Mambila was not on national grid. You know? So
it's such a beautiful place that can be harnessed.
It's not on national grid. So electricity is a reality. And we have leaders who bought pieces of land in Mambila and built houses there. We had leaders. Obasanjo, one of them, he has a house in Mambila. You know, all of them, they went, built houses there. But the place has not really developed. I just hope that this governor can do a lot more, and he has to also do his best to secure the community.
All right.
Now, he should also not take steps of his own that will worsen insecurity in the place. They know what I'm talking about.
Okay, then let's get the views of Adewale Adeoye. He joins the program via Zoom. Adewale, let's talk about the efforts of Governor Agbukefas in Taraba State by reviving the Wunmi Festival. He believes that it would actually strengthen existing relationship among people and bring in investors to the state. What do you say about that?
Well, I think first of all, it has confirmed the fact that there is no state in Nigeria that has no potential. Even though all of us will try to look up to oil as our major economic hub, there is no state in Nigeria that has nothing that can be a source of wealth, you know, for the people. Taraba is just one of those states that has enormous potentials, natural resources, the rolling hills, the valleys. You know, the physics of the environment is a national asset for the people of Taraba State. And any governor that can think critically will realize there's a lot of potential that can be harnessed. The Wunmi Festival we are talking about dates back to 1816. It's over 90 years now that people have been celebrating that festival. Wunmi actually means sanctuary of dangerous animals, hippopotamus, crocodiles. So in those days, the people used to preserve, you know, these rare animals, species in that particular lake, which is one of the biggest lakes in West Africa. It's about 25 kilometers from River Benue. So by 1954, it has become a major international festival to the extent that, you know, foreigners all over the world used to come there. And I know that that place was also a hub for cotton farming. That the Royal Niger Company in 1899 established a cotton industry there. But over the years, this heritage, you know, continued to diminish, worsened by security situation in Taraba State. So for the past years, because of the conflict, ethnic conflict, tri-ethnic conflict, and interethnic conflict, terrorism, you know, Taraba started losing its potentials, its heritage, its culture, its values. So I'm happy that the new governor has realized the fact that, look, we have a lot of potentials in this state that can be brought back, you know, to the glory of the people of that state. And I think the Wunmi Festival is one of those rare opportunities that the governor can revive, which has suffered a lot of setback because of ethnic conflict in these past 20 years. So I'm really happy with what the governor is doing. And I think he should also realize that the festival will not be successful unless it is tied to security of life and property. Just like Babajide has said, there are a lot of great men from that area. T.Y. Danjuma is one of them. The others need to meet, hold constructive engagements with themselves to ensure that they bring peace. It is only when you have peace that prosperity can come to Taraba State. But I think the effort of the governor is quite commendable, and we look forward to a successful festival that will be sustained, you know, in the years ahead.
All right, I'm very quickly, Asuko, your take on this.
I was just looking at the big fishes.
And the hippopotamus.
Yes, exactly. That's to tell you how blessed this country is. Nigeria is so blessed with a lot of things that God has really created Nigeria for a purpose. But sometimes whether we misuse it or we just feel that we shouldn't even tap into those potential. I was just looking at all the festivals, even Doba, like Ojude Oba. Sometimes there was a time that anytime is Ojude Oba, festival, the roads are always, done in such because they know that they are attracting tourists from left, right, and center. And if the governor can tap into this festival, it would increase, revenue of the state. Festivals there are things that all states. In fact, I'm not sure there's any state in Nigeria that doesn't have one particular festival or the other that they cannot even cash in on, as in to make money from. It's just for the governors to just sit down and strategize and plan, And this is one of them. This is just one of them. And the concerns of the people, which is the bad roads and all, there are things that the governor can look into. I remember the last time that BKO went to Mambila. He brought tea for us. I still have some pack of tea. You won't even believe that tea was from Nigeria here. I'm not talking about the regular ones that we know. This is our own tea. And it's not just any climate that you can plant trees.
That's the only place in Nigeria where you can grow tea.
You can grow trees and tea. So it means that Taraba on its own can feed itself if they can tap into their own resources. And the only way this can happen if there's peace. The people have complained about, one particular ethnic group trying to remove them. All those things, we don't need it.
And it's this elites who cause all this problem.
So if people want to stay together, if we need development, there have to be peace and unity amongst people. And then you will see how that place will develop. I believe that Taraba is one northern state that has the potential of trying to compete with the likes of Lagos and Rivers, using what they have. Using what they have. I can tell you for free,
So it doesn't have to be just
It's
oil.
also it's not just oil. Even agriculture. It's very similar to Benue in terms of agriculture. Do you know that they grow even palm fruit, rubber in Taraba? There's hardly anything. It's blessed with very fertile soil. It's hardly anything that you can't grow. I know things that you can grow in Taraba that you can't even grow in Benue. Tea, for example, that's the only place in Nigeria where you can grow tea. And you look at a country like Kenya, tea is their number one earner. So
there are a lot of resources we can actually tap into as a country and boost our economy. Well, let's look at another issue. In the face of dwindling funding and mounting security challenges, it is now customary for state governments, organizations, and individuals to fill the gaps for the Nigeria police. In one of such gestures, the Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has donated 25 security patrol vehicles and surveillance drones to the police to aid their operations. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who received the equipment on behalf of the force, commended Governor Abiodun for his investment in infrastructure and security in the state. Let's share the story by TVC News' Kazim Olowe with you.
Ogun State Governor has again donated security patrol vehicles and surveillance drones to the Nigeria Police and handed it over to the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. The governor, who had previously handed over security patrol vehicles, motorcycles, protective tools, communication gadgets, among others, to the Nigeria Police, led the IGP and the security chiefs in the state to where the items were presented. While receiving the new donation, which includes 25 patrol vehicles and security surveillance drones, the Inspector General of Police said Ogun State is lucky to have Governor Dapo Abiodun at the helm of affairs.
We are lucky we have a governor who is committed to protection of lives and properties in the state. I want to say that the drones that we are seeing today are surveillance drones, which we need in every aspect of police operations in Nigeria. With drones like this, we'll be able to see the criminals before they see us. We'll be able to plan our response to criminal incidences in the state. So I thank Your Excellency for this initiative, and I hope that other governors in Nigeria will emulate this.
He then proceeded to inaugurate the donated vehicles and took the governor on a ride.
I hereby commissioned.
On his part, Governor Dapo Abiodun said his administration is committed to providing adequate security for lives and property in the state and to make the state more secured for residents, investors, tourists, travelers, among others.
We focus deliberately on ensuring that we invest in not just providing the equipment for our law enforcement architecture, but also motivate the men and women who work within that architecture. So what you see today is part of initiatives that we've taken, realizing our very unique role as the only gateway state to the rest of this country, the only neighbor that Lagos has.
The Commissioner of Police in the state, while appreciating the Inspector General of Police for the visit and the Governor for the donation, said the officers and men of the command have been well motivated and the donated items will be put to good use.
It will, to a large extent, assist us in discharging our responsibilities more effectively. More so, the recurring challenge that was expressed by virtually every monarch that we visited has to do with vehicle. So it was as if it was just a timely response. And for this reason, I want to express my deep appreciation to the Executive Governor of Ogun State.
The Inspector General of Police was in Ogun State for a 3-day working visit where he met officers and men of the command, met stakeholders including traditional rulers, and inaugurated the new building at the State Command Headquarters, Elewe, Abeokuta. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
A great boost for the police in Ogun State there. Adewale, let's get your take on, this development helping the police, equipping them to actually deliver on their role of, policing the people. I understand Adewale isn't there at the moment. Let's start with you, Asoko.
No, I think this is a welcome development. We need these kinds of, support for the police force, so that we'll be able to stop crime from spreading. Like 25 security vehicles now, patrol vehicles, would also strengthen, the police force, especially in that state, in Ogun State, because Ogun has, they are very close to Lagos, and there are some border towns in Ogun that sometimes when you look at it, you would think it's Lagos, but it's Ogun, and then you won't even see any police officer or any police station or anything that even looks like police. So with support like this and donation from government and assistance, it would reduce crime in whatever way possible. Talking now, like for instance, if they have a patrol vehicle in like Akuti, for instance, before any crime, anybody commits crime and wants to get to police, if a police van is there, it will be difficult for anybody to even commit crime because they know that they will be pursued and then they will be arrested one way or the other. There are so many places that these kinds of vans can be mounted, and when there's a crime they can easily go there and even call for backup. And now that we also have is introducing technology which is drone, so many forests and bushes are around, particularly in Ogun. If you are traveling going towards Lagos Ibadan Expressway, by the time you get to, before you get to Ibadan, you'll be seeing bushes left, right, center. So with drones such as this, they will be able to use it, to track where criminals are and then bust those their hideouts. So this is just a welcome, and we hope that other states, will take a cue from this. For the IG to even go there and then the governor donating this. If I were to be the IG, I would be going to other states to let them be donating, and then it will be making the police force more. People will even be, be willing to even join the police force, because when you have equipment for you to work with, and you have vehicles and things that will aid your work, it is wonderful. Honestly.
All right. Well, let's get to today's take on this.
Well, I always say that governors are not chief security officers of their states. They are chief security logistic officers of their states. They may not have the power to give instructions to a CP or to a brigade commander, but they provide logistics. Without the logistics from the states, I wonder where the police will be. Without the patrol vans, patrol sedans that Dangote has provided for the police, I wonder where the police will be. The police is underfunded, but the state governments are doing their best. There is no state that is not assisting the police with logistics. There is no state. So Governor Dakwa said he has, since he took over, has donated about 100 vans to the police. We just want to encourage him to continue to provide this game-changing equipment for the police. And I'm happy to see Proforce, which is a Nigerian company. Yeah. Happy to see their truck amongst what was donated. Proforce is located, the headquarters is located in Ogun State. It's a man from Oderemo. We need to patronize our own. This is the Proforce vehicle. It's already an internationally recognized armaments building outfit. So good luck to the IG as he moves around to receive donations from
and use donation to better the police force. Okay, let's move on to other matters. There is a common saying in Nigeria that prices of goods and services in the country hardly obey the law of gravity. Once they go up, they rarely come down. True to this, the hike in prices of commodities occasioned by the dip in value of the Naira against the dollar some few months ago has not witnessed a decline, despite gains made by the country's currency against global currencies. Now, consumers are fuming over this insensitivity and want Naira improvement to reflect in retail prices. In the face of this, the federal government has vowed to clamp down on arbitrary hike in prices of commodities. We'll discuss this issue, but that will be after this break. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful and compassionate, I, Nasiru Haladu Danu OFR, Sardonan Dutse, Tafida Babandora, along with Masa Adoke Iboki, Sodangi Dutse, on behalf of the Dutse Emirates, want to sincerely thank His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for gracing our Turbaning ceremony. He was ably represented by His Excellency, Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, which made the event special. We acknowledge the presence and poise of former President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, who chaired the occasion, and the Governor of Jigawa State, His Excellency Malam Umar Namadi, FCA, as guest of honor, added to the memorable atmosphere. We are grateful for the blessing and support from royalty across the nation, especially the participation of the Oni of Ife, Emir of Daura, and Nasarawa. We appreciate His Highness, Emir of Dutse, Mohammed Hamim Nuhu Sanusi, CFR, people of Jigawa State, and the Dutse Emirate in particular. We also want to thank all the dignitaries, industry leaders, family, friends, Jigawa State Government, and the organizing committee who contributed to making this occasion a success. Signed, Alhaji Nasiru Haladu Danu, OFR, Sardaunan Dutse, Tafida Babandora.
I actually came to pay the money for the recruitment consultancy you did for my company. Beautiful. I put 2 million.
Just hold on. I now collect dollars.
What?
Yes. I don't understand what's happening to Naira these days. So it's going to be 2 million times today's exchange rate.
Doctor, wait. Doctor, wait. Don't tell me you are one of those people who directly put pressure on the Naira and make it lose its value. You want to dollarize our economy, and yet you pretend as if you don't know what is happening to the Naira. I've told you about how you abuse the Naira by spraying and stamping on it during your occasions. You deface and abuse the Naira as if it's not our national asset.
Chief, take it easy.
How? I will not take it easy. And neither will the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Task Force on Currency Abuse and Forex Malpractice take it easy with you. They are coming for you. Desist from economic sabotage, or you will face the wrath of the law.
Thank you for staying with us. It's a mixed fortune for most Nigerians over prices of food items in the market. There seems to be some form of relief for some citizens as a gradual rise of the value of the Naira against the dollar is gaining momentum. Locally produced goods that were once getting out of the reach of the common man are now becoming affordable. While the price of rice is witnessing a drop in some states, the prices of other grains like millet and beans continue to rise. Our team of reporters did a nationwide market survey on the prices of food items, and the story is presented by TVC News' Helen Osamede Akins. All right, there. So the Naira, value of the Naira is rising against the dollar. It's gaining momentum. And it appears that some locally produced goods that were once out of the reach of the average citizen is becoming affordable. Judy?
Not everywhere, but at least in some places. That was the essence of the nationwide survey to see what is cheaper now, what is costlier now, and all that. It will really help our people to make decisions because these days people can hardly eat what they like. They rather go for what is affordable. Yam, for example, is not really affordable to most people anymore. For the first time in the history of our country, we are seeing people buying slices of yam instead of buying a whole tuber of yam. It's that bad, you know. So now people would rather buy what they can afford. If Indomie is too costly, you move to something else. Unfortunately, traders are not helping matters. Some of them have old stock. They sell old stock at very exorbitant cost, and that's why the consumer protection is saying, look, we'll go after people who are indulging in unfair practices. So it's these are difficult times for our people, but really we don't have a choice. The devaluation of the Naira has had a terrible effect on the disposable incomes of Nigerians. Many people can't afford what ordinarily they could afford easily, last year. So we just hope that things will improve and that when the Naira continues to gain strength, traders would bring down prices. That's what we want to see.
All right. Asoko, how do we get traders to, act based on the reality? When prices of commodities are coming down, when the Naira is gaining value against the dollar, for prices of food items to crash? Is it that there's no relationship between the two?
The thing is, even this afternoon, my children were saying, Daddy, dollars started coming down. And then why is it that prices of things have not come down? I said, well, it's the traders. Some traders will tell you when the dollar was up, they bought this product or XYZ product at that when dollar was up. Now that dollar is down, they'll still have to maintain that price. But you can't tell me that everybody has the same product on the shelf for that long, because it also took dollar or the Naira to gain its strength a long time for it to come down. So you would have gone to market to replace. So you're going to replace, did you find it at that old price or you found it at the new price? So even the buyers would also have to take into consideration that even when you have products on ground for a very long time, it will expire at some point. Babajide was saying something about Indomie and Co. The quality, Nigerians are no more looking at
the
expensive brands anymore. They just want to survive. Oh, I want to eat Indomie. Let me look for a variant or another product that looks like
noodle.
You understand? Provided it's noodle, I can just eat it. Same with rice. Same with beans.
Spaghetti.
So the quality of life is also reducing, whether we like it or we don't. Because people no longer go for what is the best for them. They'll just go for what they can afford. So if I can afford just another thing that is outside, what I used to eat before, that is what I will go for. So we just have to help ourselves. Buyers, let them see how they can help other Nigerians who can't afford those expensive lifestyle before.
All right, Asoko. Let's take that market survey now, compiled by Helen Osamede Akins.
The past months have not been easy for many Nigerians. The hike in pump price and the increase in dollar against the Naira has led to the hike in the cost of living for many Nigerians, leading to an all-time surge in Nigerian inflation figures. The inflation report released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows a surge in Nigerians' inflation rate for January 2024 to 29.90%, making a significant increase from the 28.92% recorded in the preceding month. But with the current gains of the Naira against the dollar, prices of some goods are in a downward turn. Abuja, Kano and Kwara State have witnessed a reduction in the cost of rice compared to the selling price in the last 3 months. A bag of Nigerian rice in Abuja now sells for 65,000 naira as against 73,000 naira, while the foreign rice, which sells between 95 and 100,000 naira, now sells between 90 and 80,000 naira, depending on the brand. The cost of vegetable oil also reduced.
Yeah, since the reduction of price, the patronage has been good because of the reduction of price and all that. Likewise, before that, the price of rice has gone up, but now it has come down. So customers are buying regularly more than before. I think the reduction is caused by the opening of border and the reduction of dollar rates.
Before it was, you can see 62,063, but now you can see it 55,500, 56,000 now.
This is not so in some superstores in Abuja, as their prices seems to be higher than what is obtainable in the open markets. In Kwara, a bag of rice which cost 67,000 naira per 50 kg a week ago now sells between 52,000 naira and 54,000 naira. While in Kano, a bowl of rice which was sold between 3,000, 3,300 and 2,900, depending on the brand, now sells for 2,800 naira, 2,850 and 2,900 naira respectively. But products like millet, maize, soya beans and granules have continued to increase in both Abuja, Kwara and Kano. In the last 3 months in Kano, millet which was sold for 1,200 naira per bowl now costs 1,500 naira. The usual variant was sold at 1,100 naira but now costs 1,500 naira. Maize was sold at 1,200 naira per bowl. Now it is sold at 1,550 naira. White beans which was sold at 2,200 naira. Now it is 2,800 naira. Soya beans was sold at 1,200 naira per bowl. Now sells for 1,750 naira. A bowl of granules which was sold at 450 naira is now sold at 750 naira.
Actually, prices of the goods have been coming down, particularly those who buy directly with foreign currency. Take for instance like rice. Last week we were selling rice for 61, but as at day before yesterday, today we are selling a bag for 54. So it's that the exchange rate has been coming down and the prices of the goods as well has been coming down.
3 months ago, no product has reached us from any state in Nigeria, but we have now received products from states like Adamawa, Kebbi, and Lokoja. That led to a slight crash in the price of rice.
So sakamakon wannan sababbin shinkafu da suka zo mun samu saukin shinkafa akan farashin baya.
But it seems this reduction experienced in some states have not trickled down to all states. Some states are currently experiencing an all-time increase despite the gain of the naira against the dollar. Taraba State is one of the largest producers of rice, millet, yam, maize and soya beans, but this has not really translated positively in the lives of the people. These food crops are produced in the state, but the prices of the items have skyrocketed, making it difficult for the common man to purchase. Just like Taraba State, Kaduna is also experiencing a hike in the cost of these items.
Something like all these dollar products, goods, some are coming down, but in terms of all this local like gari, the gari is going up. As of this week, they are telling us gari now is a bag of gari from southeast is 110,000, red one. So white one is 100,000. So I didn't buy this week because if I buy now, how much will I sell it? I decided to say I will not buy now until I know whether the thing will reduce. If the thing reduce, I will buy. Because if I buy it now and come here now, the white one will be maybe 1.8 or 1.9. The red one should be 2,000. How many people will buy it in a day? So it's better now make I rest more. If I rest, maybe make I know whether the thing will reduce. If it reduce, I will buy. If it not reduce, make I continue the rest. They sell all that goods.
All this food stuff like corn and potato and other things. The dollar is getting down every day, but the price of things is getting high. Imagine gari of 1 mudu that we used to buy 200, 150 is now 1,050 naira, 1,250 from the market coming down to our own house here. It's expensive. Rice is 2,000, local rice. Then Nigerian rice is 2,200. Then this dawa is 1,000. Everything is 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. We don't even know what is going on. I think the people that bought and keep waiting for things to be high, in fact, the government should do something about it because...
I went for purchase. The price of soybeans was 900. But one day, the last surprise they made for me, now it increases the bag by 5,000 to some 8,000. Like soybeans increases by 5,000. And that makes the soybeans price now to remain 1,000 naira. From 900 naira, it has added to 1,000 naira. Pamudu, and you see, like maize was 850 that I bought last. I sell for 1,100 because I can't be selling 1,200 because the current price of gari now in the market now is 80,000. Bag of gari is 80,000. If you sell 1,000 naira, you won't get, and the content in the gari bag is not even as it used to be before. There's some gari you get, you are losing like 2 mood inside.
Lagos traders share their experience on how other products have increased in price.
I did this work since 2015. Bag of flour, we are buying bag of flour. In that 2015 to 2019, we are buying bag of flour for 12,000, 9,500. And this time around, we are buying the bag of flour for 65,000 naira. So, you are not toy. Everything is too expensive.
With the girl customer, they go come and tell them the price, they go wrong. They no go where they say the thing is very expensive. It's very cost. Fuel cost. Because of transportation when they carry them for not to here, now make them cost.
Before, we are buying the kilo of the fish, 2,000, 2004, 2002. But now, the fish is 2006, 2007. The fish is too cost for us to buy. Now, from market, we buy it 2005. And people are pricing it 2002, 2003 for year too.
Before, it's not passing 2,000. For now, if somebody wants to buy it, you cannot less than 7,000 to 6,000 naira. As you see it, as I hold it. Things is much, and we are already tired.
Many believe that the trend will improve if government comes through with its promise to work towards pushing down the rising cost of food prices around the country.
Well, the survey there compiled by our correspondent Helen Osamede Akins. What do you say about the comparisons, in prices?
Yes, at least we can see the rice, prices of rice, depending on the variant, are going down. But millet, beans, soya beans, they are going up. Gari, they are going up. I think that the prices of locally produced grains will not come down until we deal with the issue of diesel. Because all the trucks that move these grains to different parts of the country, they run on diesel, and diesel is extremely expensive. The people are still buying diesel at 1,650 per litre. That's why I heard that Dangote recently announced that it will be 1,000 naira. That is from his refinery. We don't know at what price the marketers will give the rest of us. Diesel is the big issue. And don't forget, on the road, coming all the way from the north or leaving from Lagos to the east, security people are there extorting money. Exactly. Extorting money. You have soldiers, you have police, just standing on the road shamelessly extorting money from drivers. And at the end of the day, the consumers, the ordinary consumers like you and I, will have to bear the brunt. Yes. There's no way who will pay for the money that these security people collect from them. They have to get someone to pay. So the cost of even bringing grains down from the north. Borno, for example, produce a lot of beans. The bulk of the beans produced in Borno State are consumed here in Lagos. You can imagine how many days it will take them to come down here, and then the cost. So it's not dollar alone that drives inflation. Yeah. Other things are involved, and you can see rice is coming down. The borders have been opened. So rice is coming down to compete with our own local brands. I didn't know that a day could come when the locally produced rice will be costlier than foreign one. I can't understand.
How do we address this issue of transportation? What about our trains?
Well, they can still use trains, but the train has its own limits. It's not that we have trains, cargo trains that can go everywhere in the country. I know that there's a train that goes from Lagos to Ibadan. What of other places, Yeah, I think government can also, apart from trains, Dangote they can still talk to Dangote. Our refinery that is, we are expecting the Port Harcourt refinery to kickstart. You know, if the diesel can come down, the price of diesel can come down, and then this truck driver...
Let them help us with CNG, for example.
You know, with CNG...
With 200 naira per litre.
Exactly. So if they can help them, you know, to convert, government can do that. Just look at it and say, okay, how do we do this to bring down food prices? You know, and make sure that also all these security people leave the road only for those places that we know that, okay, it's prone to attacks. That is where they will. But them mounting roadblocks and stopping people who are bringing food to places that people will buy this food and eat, they have to stop it. You know, and regulation too. You know, monitoring these prices is also...
I think we need price control.
It's essential.
We need it because people won't listen.
Exactly. You know, so I think in the next, maybe we'll give them another 1 month. We'll do the same market
survey, another survey,
you know, so that people will say that, okay, the effort that government is making, and then the little advice we are giving government if they are also making use of it.
All right. Now let's look at another issue. The use of illicit drugs has become a pandemic in most societies, hence the need to address the root causes. The personnel of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, are unrelenting in their crackdown on drug abuse, and the efforts are yielding results. The NDLEA said it has arrested about 5,901 persons, drug offenders actually, and that includes 46 drug barons in the last 3 years. Speaking at the inauguration and handover ceremony of an operational facility built and donated by the British government to the NDLEA in Lagos, the chairman of the agency, Brigadier General Buhari, retired, explained that within the period, the agency successfully prosecuted and convicted 9,034 of them. He also stated that they seized more than 7,561 tons of illicit substances from offenders. All right, so that's actually 50,901 drug offenders, conviction of 9,034 in 3 years. We'll be having to join us for more on that. The spokesman of the NDLEA, Femi, for more. But in the meantime, let's talk here in the studio. NDLEA recording some progress in the fight against drug abuse in Nigeria. How do you assess them?
No, you know, they always say that we need strong institutions, not strong individuals. The case of the NDLEA is a cogent example that strong individuals can make a big difference in strong in institutions, because other people had been at this NDLEA before, but no one can deny that General Marwa has made a big difference. And it's not as if he brought in a set of staff. He brought in his own staff. He's using the same staff that were dysfunctional, that did not record so much progress. It's all about the leader, how a leader leads. If they can see that you are transparent, you are forward-looking, you have bright ideas, people will follow. It's a natural thing. Nigerians are very grateful to General Marwa because of the tremendous success that he has recorded. And I'm happy about the fact that they are building barracks now for NDLEA staff, because these guys are taking a lot of risk. If they live amongst the rest of us, for example, some of them could be killed. And drug barons are killing some of them already, because this is big business for these guys. They are killing operatives, NDLEA operatives, because they want to continue to do this business that is destroying our young people. When you move around, you see junkies all over the place.
Everywhere.
People who are already hooked on Colorado and other. I saw a video of one boy just hitting his head against a pole. I said, how can a normal person be doing this? He will move back like a cow. Just that head, strike that head against the pole. I said, what is going on? In the end, they had to rush him. There was one, even where they were doing a Muslim prayer session. He saw that pole. So I said, what is going on? What can someone drink? Now you can see that it's a pole. You are now hitting
hit your head.
Car like a goat. You don't have horns. Thank you, General Buba Marwa, because without what people are doing, our place, the whole country will just be littered with junkies all over the place.
Okay, joining us for more on this war against drug abuse is a spokesman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, Femi Obafemi. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We commend you for all you have been doing. You've heard Babajide speak so loftily about what you have achieved so far. But tell us, how have you been able to pull this off?
I must first of all appreciate my good friend Jide for that awesome compliment, and every one of you for this program. I must also appreciate the support we have also received from TVC. All of these go a long way to encourage our officers and men to do much more. That you can rest assured about. Having said that, I would also like to toe the line of already established by Jide. Indeed, when General Mara came in on January 18, 2021, he came definitely somebody a lot of us know that wherever he goes, he tries to make a lot of impact. And he came with that mindset, with the same agenda to turn around the agency. And like Jide said, he didn't come with a new set of personnel for the agency. He came and worked with the people he met on ground. And so how did things change? First, he had to encourage the personnel he met on ground, first by promoting almost 70% of the workforce, giving them, these are people that have been stagnant, that have been stagnated, that have been demoralized because they were not promoted for years, some for almost 2 decades. So all of those things definitely would not encourage anybody to, to go all out and take any risk. Besides that, there were quite a lot of issues of harmonization of ranks and all of those things. He also tried to sort out all of that, and in addition to that, he quite a lot of personnel who died in active service, and their families were being owed burial expenses. In those days, you will see officers who died, his colleagues that will contribute money to the family for burial. So all of this, he equally went all out to ensure that all of these allowances and benefits were paid to those families, and that really set the tone for the changes we have seen today. And again, being a military man, he also came with an operational philosophy, that is offensive action. Offensive action meaning that the agency, the officers, the personnel would not have to go all out after the drug cartels, not waiting for them at one place. So and again, another thing is he also tried to ensure that beyond going after the moles on the street, the agency also devised operational mechanisms to target the barons, the big guys that have been for years invisible or untouchable. So, and this really sent a lot of strong signals to those behind this drug trafficking thing. So, and you would have seen that just like the figures you reeled out, in just barely 3 years, we've made more than 50,000 arrests, precisely 50,901 arrests. That's huge. And out of this, you would also see that a substantial number of that is more than 9,000, have been prosecuted, successfully prosecuted, and are serving jail terms within a very short time. All of those things don't come really easy, but then with tenacity,
let's talk about those barons. Let's talk about those barons.
Okay.
You people, you've been involved in a big, a long drawn battle with these barons, and we hear that some of your operatives are being killed. Who is killing NDLA operatives?
Absolutely, the kind of job, you see, these people, they have for years been feeding fat on the drug business, even though globally it's a dangerous venture. That is, it's a money spinning venture all over the world, and so the people involved, they are ready to do anything. They are ready to even lay down their lives for this. So they don't really care about the lives of others. That's why, because when you look at in some of your, in your own analysis, you observe that, some of our young people, when they get hooked on this, they do the incredible, like, and all these things destroy their lives, destroy their future, and when lives are destroyed that way, it's not just about the individuals, their families, or their communities, but the country itself is affected, because these are the productive arms of the country. And so when these people are decapitated, they can't do anything, that ultimately affects the GDP of a country. So, but then, just coming to your question directly, these people, when invariably they see News Aegis, that is the agency now coming after them, they also would have to fight back. But I can assure you that indeed, we are also responding to this, appropriately responding, in the sense that one of the things General Mawa, who is also versatile in this area, has done is also to strengthen the deterrence force of the agency, which, that we call the strike force. He had to separate a unit, set aside a unit of the agency. He trained them very well and empowered them with adequate arms and ammunition. And even now, they go out in armored vehicles, especially when we have to go into difficult terrains, especially right deep into the forest, where quite a lot of plantations, processing and production of illicit substances are going on. So, and that's where, in most cases, they come under heavy attack, because these people also, they groom their own militia, they arm young people to be able to ward off any invasion or any raid from law enforcement agencies like the NDLA. But then, in recent time, you would have seen that indeed we've tried as much as possible to build up the deterrence force, and also protect our people, because that is very key, that's very important. That's notwithstanding, you still have, it's a risky job, so you still have some incidents where men are wounded or killed, and just like you rightly observed, is one of the great things that government has also done for the agency by providing them barracks in parts of the country. All those barracks are coming up as we speak, and I'm sure that at the first year anniversary of President Bola Tinubu, some of those barracks would would be commissioned, I hope, because I'm very sure that a number of them have gotten to over 90% occupation for commissioning. So that's a good one, because in the years past, you see the same officers and personnel going out to go after these barons and traffickers, and at the end of the day, they're coming back into the same communities to stay in their, to stay there, and that really makes them. Have seen quite a number of that across the country, and that was the whole essence of pushing for the barracks. So that when these people go out to face these and traffickers at the end of the day, an enclosed and secure place. And as well, when they are also done at the close of work, they can also have a safe place to return to for their own safety and the safety of their families. So that is something that we're glad that is happening at the moment with the barracks coming up in parts of the country to secure and also, to secure the officers and personnel of the agency as well as their families.
Femi.
And that I can also tell you,
talking about,
really boosted the morale.
Let's
of the
talk
officers.
about
Yes,
Colorado. Let's talk about, I'm really concerned about Colorado. How does it get to Nigeria? From your findings, where exactly is this extremely dangerous drug coming from?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a strain of cannabis that is not produced here in Nigeria because of its synthetic nature. What we have here is the cannabis sativa. That's the one we see on the street that our people take, that we call Igbo or ganja or Indian hemp, all of those things. Those ones are, even though they are bad, they are equally bad, but they are not as harmful or as dangerous as this Colorado, which on the street, it's also called Colos. That's the one that really, it's also almost the same thing as loud. They are synthetic, meaning that they have been processed. They are not natural. They are synthetic, and so they come from outside the country. And you would have seen of late again, in the last couple of months, we've been making huge seizure of those at the Tinkan Port in Lagos State. In Lagos, quite a substantial, some substantial figures there that we've been making through containers that we've been targeting. Of course, we identify where these things are coming from, and we've been targeting them because we not only we are intelligence-led, so we don't just limit our operations to what happens within Nigeria. We also work with our partners out there so as to be able to share intelligence, relate with them, and know where some of these things are when they are coming, when they are being loaded, and where they are coming from, so that we can keep a track on these containers. And largely, we've been working with the USDA, that's Drug Enforcement Administration in the US, as well as our counterparts in the UK, like the Border Force and the National Crime Agency. All of these international partners have been very supportive and when these things are coming, and so we work with our local stakeholders as well to ensure that these things are not cleared to leave the port. So that's why you see soon after they come, we work with our local partners and ensure that these containers are detained for 100% joint examination, as a result of which we've made quite a lot of seizures of this particular Colorado, because it's not a strain that is grown or produced there. They are processed, they are produced and packaged and sent. Not sending these things to Nigeria, not foreigners, they're our own people who stay out there and send this thing, knowing fully well, it just because of the money involved, because that particular strain of cannabis is almost as expensive as class A drug, as heroin or cocaine, because of its effect and the synthetic nature of it. So it's very expensive and it's highly sought after, especially by the young ones that want to experiment. But unfortunately, these have really done much more to their health and their well-being.
Okay, I just want to ask you two questions. In terms of, apart from the building for the officers, are the officers also, is there anything for like insurance for them? Because I know sometimes they go on dangerous operations. And then I wanted to also ask about the support you get from foreign drug agencies. Because there's no Sunday I don't come to this newsroom and I will see Brazil. What support are you getting from all those South American countries where this drug, seem to be very prominent, and then the next thing you see are people either taking it there or bringing it from there? What support are you getting from them?
Yeah, first, thank you very much for that. I'll tell you that indeed, like we said before, the drug business is a global challenge. It's something that is even the best of economies that is in the U.S. out there. They are still struggling and fighting with it. So, so recognizing the fact that it's a global challenge, the world. I mean, countries across the world have also learned, especially drug law enforcement agencies have also learned that to also face this challenge, we all have to come together and work together to be able to. That's what I was trying to explain to you earlier, that we work in partnership with our counterparts in other parts of the world, especially the US, the UK, India, the Brazil you mentioned now, South Africa, and other parts of even in our West Africa here, we collaborate with a lot of our people and a lot of our counterparts to ensure that we share intelligence. We also work together to see that these things don't go through our borders. Now, having said that, it was also read in the reports read before we started this conversation that, for instance, the UK is at the moment, or even not just recently, which provided a facility for us at the MMI in Ikeja, Lagos, where it's an operational facility. I may not be able to give the details, but then it's an operational facility provided for us by the UK. All of this is part of the partnership, it's part of our own benefits from the partnership. Of course, when that is done for us, it also benefits those our counterparts who fund that. In addition to that, I also know that indeed the UK is, even at the moment as we speak, also building the marine headquarters for the agency at the Atlantic Beach in Lagos also. All of those, all of these people are coming to support what the agency is doing because they've seen the commitment, the sincerity of purpose of the leadership of the agency, what the agency is able to achieve, as well as the support the government of Nigeria is also giving the agency, because nobody will come and invest in your own country if they also don't see you doing something, or if they also don't see support by your home government. So the fact that we have an administration in Nigeria of President Bola Tinubu supporting the activities of the agency, and they have also seen that the agency is also making great feats, also achieving great feats. So this also encourages them to come in and support what we're doing by building capacity. One leg of your question talks about insurance. Indeed, one of the first things General Mara also sorted out when he came in 2021 was to place insurance cover, insurance scheme for officers and men, life and injury insurance. By the grace of God, we don't pray for that, but then if anything happens to anybody today, they are covered by insurance put in place, premium insurance put in place by the agency. That is settled. Beyond that, I can tell you that indeed the agency has really metamorphosed from the backyard organization it used to be to a frontline agency recognized and well respected globally today.
From what you see, just briefly, are women increasingly getting hooked on drugs now than some years back?
And the demographics.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about getting hooked on drugs. You see, on both legs of this menace, that is whether in trafficking itself, you see more women getting more daring. You've seen quite a number of arrests. We have made women also trying to export illicit substances to outside the country, especially those that have that we have arrested going to Saudi Arabia and going to dangerous places for that matter. So we've seen quite a number, and also Europe. Apart from that, when it comes to abuse, you have also seen more. But then you cannot say because, I mean, it's not just about the women alone. There are quite a number of factors that are responsible for this. And so it's understandable why, just like you have the men also hooked, you also have women hooked because they are all within the same environment, taking the heat from certain social factors. For instance, when you talk of women, quite a number of them, especially those we have had to relate with, those we are attending to, treating and counseling in our facilities across the country. You see, when you investigate some of the things that have led these people, you will understand some as a result of marriage issues, some as a result of some of the social factors like lack of job, lack of employment, poverty generally. Some of these issues lead these people to substance abuse. And nobody just wakes up and says, today I want to start abusing illicit substances. No.
So these factors are there.
Predisposing.
Yes, but the agency, is working really hard to manage the situation, to get, these barons.
Absolutely.
And we sincerely commend you for all that you are doing. And we thank you for joining us on the show to help us better understand the activities of the agency and the impact that you are making. Femi Babafemi is spokesman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Thank you very much for joining us on Journalist Hangout today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for having me on this conversation. Thank you.
All right, and that's it on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. I must sincerely appreciate you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you.
The encyclopedia himself, Babajide Kolade, thank you very much. And Aseko James, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I'm Abosede Naira Valley. Remember, you can watch a repeat broadcast tonight at 11:30, and do join us in the course of the week at 5 p.m. for the regular episode of the program. As we end the program, let's leave you with an excerpt from a chat with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Osidi, who laid to rest some of the fears expressed by some Nigerians regarding housing, especially how government can provide mortgages for Nigerians to get affordable houses.
Well, thank you very much. I would say I'm settling down pretty fast. The reason being that I have been in this system, so it's not new to me. So far, so good. I've had my career in banking largely. I spent 20 years in the commercial bank before I joined the Federal Mortgage Bank in 2010. So I've been here like 13 years until I retired last year, following my appointment as Chief of Staff to the Honorable Minister. So I retired as a General Manager. And so now I'm back as the Chief Executive. So settling down has been pretty easy. Well, I would say I'm very, very confident. It is generally said that a problem well defined is a problem half solved. So coming from within, I already know what the issues are, what the challenges are, and that is why I was able, by the grace of God, to hit the ground running. Well, I would say yes and no. Yes, because quite a number of Nigerians have benefited from the products offered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. You know, we are the only institution in this country that offers mortgages at single digit, specifically at 6%. You can't get that anywhere else. And so a lot of Nigerians have benefited from our system, from the bank. For those who have not benefited from the bank, due to one challenge or the other, some Nigerians do not know so much about the activities of the Federal Mortgage Bank, understandably, because we probably may not have done so much of sensitization to create awareness among Nigerians about the opportunities that are available in the bank. And we must also admit that there are a couple of Nigerians that have also made attempts to access our facilities, and they were not able to get such facilities due to some reason or the other. So that's why I said the answer is yes and no. Yeah, coming from within, like I said, I understand the issues. And one of the things that we first decided to address is the issue of automation. Over the years, the operations of the bank have been largely manual. And so our processes take so long. People apply for loans, they take forever for those loans to be approved. And so we are now in the process of deploying a core banking application technology which is about 95% completed already. Once that is done, our operations will be online real time, and which means that we are taking seriously the issue of turnaround time. So we are able to respond more quickly and more efficiently to the demands of our customers. Yeah, like I said, that is one area that we have known that we have not done a lot of sensitization to create awareness among Nigerians. You know, housing is a capital-intensive activity, and so if you do not have the opportunity of mortgages, not many Nigerians will be able to access houses. So we are rolling out a number of platforms to create awareness. For instance, in the next couple of weeks, we will resume what we used to have, which we call Everybody Deserves a Home, which is a weekly TV program on both NTA and TVC. We will resume these activities that will create a lot of sensitization on the products that are offered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, how you can access these products, the processes that you need to go through, the requirements that you need to fulfill, and so on and so forth. We're also engaging several stakeholders, including the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, which is also a body that represents employers in the private sector. Then we are also accessing the informal sector, reaching out to the informal sector through the instrumentality of cooperative societies. So we have cluster groups, and we sensitize these cluster groups, and we have actually created a product for this segment of the market, where what we call the cooperative housing development loan, where individuals form cooperatives, and then they are able to design the kind of houses they want by themselves. They cost those houses according to their income levels, and then they approach the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to take a loan to build houses for their members. And the interesting thing is that when these houses are constructed, we again create mortgage loans for the individual members of the cooperatives to buy these houses and then pay over time. So we are rolling out massively in terms of our enlightenment programs, both in the electronic and the print media, and especially using social media handles to reach out to our clients. You need affordability in the face of rising costs. And like you know, affordability is a function of two variables, cost and income. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, income levels are very low, and then prices are escalating. So what do we do? I think the first step is what the government has tried to do by appealing to producers of building materials. You recall that I think about 2 weeks or so ago, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Development had a session, an engagement with producers of cement in the country, appealing to them to look at ways by which they can bring down the cost of cement. And this can be achieved because these companies actually make huge profits, and they can also give something to the society by being conscious of what is going on, and then believing that because they are also generating business from the society, they can also do by reducing the cost of the profit, reducing from the profit that they make, so that the prices of cement and other building materials can come down, and then people can access affordable housing. One of the ways is to appeal to manufacturers of building materials to bring down costs by cutting down on their profit. Second is that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as you know, has one of the mandates or the objectives to create building material manufacturing hubs, one in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Now, what that seeks to do is to encourage local production of building material by utilizing local raw materials that are available within our environment. And if that is achieved, if we are achieving local production of building materials, that will to a large extent drive down costs, because it will then save the cost of importation. And then another thing is that government is also going to be driving, encouraging organizations to do corporate social responsibility. Because like it is said, there is no free lunch. Somebody has to pay the price. So if companies, like it's done in other countries, like in the US, for example, large companies also offer some of their corporate responsibility functions by making available some of these resources to provide infrastructure, for instance, that can bring down the cost of building material, cost of housing construction, and so on and so forth. So I think if government is able to upskill all of these efforts, and if the private sector also supports the effort of government, we will be able to get somewhere in achieving this objective. Well, I think that fear is understandable because of probably past experiences, but under the renewed hope agenda, especially the renewed hope housing agenda, where the government is rolling out 1,000 housing units in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and another 500 housing units in the remaining 30 states of the country. Now, this objective is being pursued through a multiplicity of strategies, one of which is direct funding by the ministry, one of which is through a PPP, where the ministry is also signing MOUs with consortium of developers to provide houses all across the country. And in one of such, which was for which the Mr. President did the groundbreaking about 2 months ago at Karsana to deliver 3,112 housing units out of a total of 100,000 housing units to be constructed across the country. Now, the methodology that the ministry intends to use, and by extension the Federal Mortgage Bank, is that it's going to be through an online process. So there is going to be no subjectivity in terms of who knows who. It is a matter of going online, indicating the kind of house you want. You choose the house, you make available your data in terms of the income that you earn, the number of